This real incident happened with a little boy. He was just 7 years old at that time. He told that when he was in grade 4, he used to go to his tutor's home every day to complete his homework. The tutor was a female, and her son was his friend. After the class, the boy used to play with his friend on the roof of the house. That house had an adjacent house behind it. That house was abandoned, and when they played on that roof, they could see the house clearly. The house vibes were so creepy. That creepy house had a large tree in its courtyard. Its branches were spread on the roof of the tutor's house, but only on a small area. Every day they lay on that roof and returned before evening. One day, another fellow from their class came to play with them. According to their routine, they were playing on that roof, but suddenly their ball bounced away into that house, that abandoned house. The new fellow was very clever, and he said, "I will bring the ball from that house." It was not the first time that our ball bounced away into that abandoned house, but we were afraid to bring the ball back. But our fellow was not. He jumped into that creepy house with the help of the branches of that large tree. Then he started to look for the ball. After some time, he found it. But instead of coming back, he got into the rooms of that house. After some time, he came back through the tree. He showed us some coins he had gathered from that room. Then we came back after playing. The next day, we decided to not let him play with us, and decided to go into that creepy house to gather some coins. When he approached us to play, we refused, and we came onto the roof and then jumped into that house. We got into the rooms. One room was open slightly, as the door was rusted and stuck. We got inside and saw some old rotten furniture due to rains and leakage of the ceiling. We searched for coins, but there were no coins. But when we got into the next room, we saw a candle fully lit there. We were surprised and scared. How can a candle be fully lit in this house? There must be something wrong. We ran outside and climbed the tree and got onto my teacher's home's roof. The next day, again we got onto the roof to play. After some time, we heard a voice from the adjacent house. Someone was calling us. We heard, "Mudassir, come down." We both were shocked. Mudassir was the name of my teacher's son. We ignored the voice, but again we heard the same voice. This time we were more scared. Then after some time we heard the voice of Mudassir's mother. "Mudassir, come down." This time we came down, and when we were descending the stairs we could see the courtyard of the creepy home. What we saw was a terrible scene. We saw a woman with a very dark skin tone like coal, wrapped in a shroud. It seemed that the shroud she was wrapped in was several meters long. We both fell down the stairs and started trembling. My teacher came and helped us get up. We told our teacher about the whole incident. She told us that she already knew about it, but never told us. Every time I remember this incident, I always get chills down my spine. Now let's start the second story. This story is from India, Assam. There is a place where rains come frequently. There is a mountain area in Assam, and its tea is very famous. My brother and his friends planned to go there for camping. My cousin came to our house and saw my brother packing his luggage. He asked where he was going. My brother told him about the place, and my cousin was shocked. He told my mother that the area is prohibited by the government, and people talk about strange occurrences there. He should not go there. But my brother refused to accept it, and my mom gave him permission to go there, but she insisted he stay connected. So my brother and his friends departed from Delhi. When they reached Assam, they hired a taxi to go to that jungle. They sat in the taxi and told the taxi driver that they didn't know the exact location of the bamboo jungle. The driver said, "Why do you want to go there? Why do you want to get into trouble?" But they were very excited to go there, so they ignored his advice. They were very tired from the long journey, so they stopped the taxi at a tea shop. The owner of the tea shop was a lady around the age of 40 to 45. She asked the same question. "Where are you going?" They told her about our destination, the bamboo jungle. She became angry and said, "Don't go there. I am warning you. Don't go there." But they were not trying to understand the advice of people. They just wanted to have fun in that bamboo jungle. At last, they reached there. They got out of the car. They took out our luggage from the taxi and stepped inside the horrible forest. When they stepped in, it was 5 p.m. They took some photos with each other and wandered around. Then set the fire and prepared our food. They had instant food with us, as they all were not good at cooking, so they had some noodles and soup packets. They ate noodles and had delicious soup. At 10 p.m. we slept. They wanted to sleep early because they were so tired. They were sleeping in our tents, and it started raining. They were alone in that forest. It was nighttime and raining, so it was a horrible situation. One friend asked my brother, "I want to use the washroom. Come with me. I am scared." But my brother said, "I am tired. Please go with someone else." That friend asked another friend named Vicky. He agreed. Vicky was walking behind the other friend. Vicky stayed a little bit far from his friend, who used the washroom. The friend who wanted to use the washroom was named Kabir. After some time, Vicky heard the terrible sound of Kabir. Vicky searched for Kabir immediately, but Kabir was not there. After some time, Kabir was found crying and sitting under a tree. Vicky helped him get up, and they came back. They all questioned Vicky and Kabir about what had happened, but Kabir didn't give a single answer. He was just crying. After some time, they forced Kabir to sleep. That night passed without any other horrible incidents. The next morning, they were making a video for social media and enjoying themselves. Then, during the video, Kabir felt something under his foot. He saw the bone of a human hand. They all became scared. After some more time, they again saw a skull of a human there. They were shocked. Then again, they started to explore the forest. This time they saw a little lamb there. They all started to chase it, but my brother said, "Please don't chase it. How can a lamb be here? It is strange, so please don't do that." But no one listened to him. They chased it for up to 1 kilometer. The lamb jumped into the bushes and disappeared. All the friends searched for the lamb in the bushes, but they saw a woman behind the bushes. She looked very horrific and had a creepy smile on her face. All the friends became scared and screamed loudly, and they ran away from that place. While running, one friend named Samir got his foot injured. All the friends lifted him up, and all friends returned to their camps, feeling so scared. They took some rest and decided to leave tomorrow. After some rest, they started to explore the other side of the forest. After some distance, they arrived at a lake and saw an old man sitting there. They became very happy after seeing another human in that forest. They started to talk to the old man. The old man told them, "I have been living here for many years. My home is nearby. Come and have some tea at my house." Somehow my brother got strange vibes from that old man. My brother refused to go with him. He just asked, "Tell us about your home. We will come again." He pointed towards a small cottage, saying that it was his home. They all returned towards their camp. They heard laughter from behind. And turned to see that same old man, but now his height had increased abnormally. All were so scared and screamed. They started running towards their camp, but the injured friend fell down. They all helped him by lifting him up. They had camped near the center of the forest, so it was taking so long to get out of the forest. But suddenly they heard Samir's voice. "Please save me!" They started searching for Samir, but Samir was nowhere. They were all hopeless. But again they heard Samir's voice. But this time his voice was coming from that cottage. They ran towards the cottage to save Samir. When they reached near the cottage, they saw that the cottage was locked, but they could see Samir from the outside through a window. They shouted, "Samir, come out!" But Samir didn't reply. He was sitting with his head down, but suddenly he looked up and smiled. He wore a creepy smile on his face. Suddenly he came out from the locked door and attacked his own friends. My brother took his belt off and tied the hands of Samir with the belt. He did so because Samir was possessed. They couldn't leave their friend alone. They grabbed all their things and ran towards the road. When they reached the road, it was evening time, and darkness was spreading everywhere. They knew they couldn't find a taxi or even a single vehicle there. They were also worried about their friend, wondering how they could handle him because he was still possessed. They stayed for a rest on the road, but one of their friends looked back, and they saw the same lamb behind them. They ran quickly from there again. At last, they found a taxi with some other passengers. They stopped the taxi. The passengers and the taxi driver were also surprised to see them as they were coming from the forbidden forest. They reached the station by taxi and then reached home by train. When they reached home, Samir's hands were still tied. It was a horrible experience for them. Then they looked for a religious scholar, and Samir got well.